going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 22 Ultimate Team video. It's time for Team of the Week predictions for week number 5 in the NFL. We're going to get right on into it and start with, I think, probably the most obvious choice, and that is Justin Herbert. Fantastic game. The Chargers are playing great football. I mean, they could be considered one of the favorites behind the Bills, of course, to come out of the AFC, man. They lost one game. It was a winnable game against the Cowboys. I think they kind of lost due to an illegal shift. They scored on the goal line, didn't count because of that penalty, and they really could be an undefeated team. Herbert is balling in his sophomore season, and yesterday he went crazy. 5 total touchdowns, 398 yards. 4 of those 5 touchdowns were through the air. His latest card was a team builder card at 84. We now know that the player of the week and the hero cards could be 92 overalls, and with him being a field general archetype, this card, I mean, he has the potential to be one of the best cards in the game later on. Now, I think with the projected attributes on this card, he should get enough throwing power to get Gunslinger activated, and with Field General, that means he can get Hot Route Master. I believe it's 90 awareness, but right now, 80 awareness. He's not getting like a plus 10 in overall, so I don't think they're going to give him a 90 awareness. So I don't think we'll see a Gunslinger and Hot Route Master quarterback this early in the game, but he definitely will be able to get it later in the year. But if they give Herbert a card and he's not slated for another promo, we definitely could see a field general with Gunslinger coming out for Justin Herbert, and he's definitely a potential here for player of the week card. Moving on to running backs, James Robinson, he had a pretty good game, though they lost. I mean, that's what the Jaguars do. They've lost like 20 straight. 149 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Now, going back to the quarterbacks real quick, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, great games. They recently got updates. I don't think that they'll get one. And then when it comes to running backs, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb both had really, really good games. Because they've gotten recent updates, or they've had an update so far this year, maybe Nick Chubb gets the +1 treatment. I don't think Derrick Henry will. So that's why we're going with one option at running back this week, James Robinson. And the other is Najee Harris for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had a really good game as well. 122 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. His only card this year is that rookie premier. And remember, this year with rookie premiers, they do not get upgraded based off of like another upgrade for that player. They're just capped out at 86. So if he gets a team of the week card, it's not going to be above this 86, or it's not going to, it will be above the 86 more than likely, but it will not be a rookie premier card, meaning that this 86 goes up in overall, because it just doesn't work that way this year. Devonta Adams probably already deserving of an upgrade this year, but yesterday's performance, crazy game, Bengals and Packers there. He had a really good game, so we're going to put him on the list. 11 receptions, 206 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. The only thing here, right, is that there's only going to be one player of the week, so only 192 overall. And right now, you have to think Devonta Adams is like one option. Justin Herbert is another, and we're going to get to the defense in a moment. And you probably already know who I'm going to pick there for the third option. So I don't know who's going to get left out. Maybe Devonta just gets the +1 treatment. I feel like that's the likely thing that's going to happen with a bigger upgrade later on down the road. But, you know, he deserves at least the +1 at minimum for his performance this week. Chase Claypool, we're going to talk about him twice in this video, and I'll explain why in a little while. But yesterday, 5 receptions, 130 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Another player from the Steelers that could get a card. He had a really good game this week, obviously, because that's the predictions we're doing. So Chase Claypool, deserving of an upgrade for his performance this week. But like I said, we're going to get to him again in a little while towards the end of the video. Let's talk about one other wide receiver that could get an upgrade for Team of the Week this week. And that is AB Antonio Brown. He had 2 touchdown passes yesterday, 124 yards on 7 receptions. That one that he took to the house, I mean, he's still got the speed. Antonio Brown, we all thought he was probably going to be washed at one point, all the off-field stuff. He had a Super Bowl victory last year with the Bucs. He's playing good this year. Nice to see AB get an elite card. I mean, he's only got a gold. That's kind of weird when you think about it. performance yesterday certainly deserving. Moving on to the defense, a MUT favorite, Ultimate Team favorite. I mean, this dude even plays Madden Ultimate Team on his days off. Derwin James, and he's a really good Madden player if you guys weren't aware. Derwin James kind of filled up the stat sheet yesterday. 17 tackles for a safety. That's kind of actually insane. 17 tackles for Derwin James. He had 1 sack and 1 forced fumble. We'll break down our predictions at the end of the video on who's going to get what overall, but there's a lot of good names here, a lot of potential players to get like cards in the 90s, and his latest card, or his only card really this year other than the power-up, is an 82 overall, so he's got room for improvement, definitely needs an upgrade here. So we got Kevin Byard on the screen, and we're going to talk about him in a moment, but Everson Griffin is another guy that I think could get a card. I searched across the auction house and in the MUT.gg database, and I don't think he has a card this year at all, which is just kind of weird. So Everson Griffin, we got to mention him. He had 2 sacks yesterday and 1 forced fumble in the win against the Lions, so he's a potential card. And then also, who's on the screen here, Kevin Byard, he had another game where he kind of filled up the stat sheet, or another guy, much like Derwin James. 10 tackles, which is also pretty good, especially for a zone safety or a coverage safety. 10 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. I did not see the highlight. I don't know if that 1 interception led to the touchdown. I'm going to safely assume so, but Kevin Byard could see an upgrade based off of that performance. And rounding out our predictions, and you had to know that this was coming, Darius Slay Jr., 2 interceptions yesterday. Eagles win, big comeback. Very stressful game for me as an Eagle fan, but Darius Slay gets the 2 picks. More picks yesterday in that one game than he had all season last year with his first season with the Eagles. So it's just good to see that happen. Good to get the win. And I think Darius Slay is probably the 3rd option for the Player of the Week, the 92 overall card. Let's talk about some of the flashback heroes and the LTD, along with my guesses on who gets Player of the Week. So if you don't know the format by now, you probably just haven't been paying attention, but we're going to go over it anyways. First things first, we will be getting a limited tomorrow. Remember, the LTD card is a current day player who had a good week 5 performance in a prior year. So it's not based off of this year. I see the mistake made on Twitter every single day, like every single week. There's still people that think the current, performance, week 5, 2021, gives you the LTD, and that's not the case. We have had some exceptions with like the Tom Brady and the Justin Tucker card, but those were more still like milestone and record-breaking things. So the LTD based off of a past year's performance for a current day player. We talked about Chase Claypool. Well, he had a good week this year, week 5, but he also had a good week 5 last year in 2020. So if they give him the LTD, it's really going to throw some of you off who still don't understand how Team of the Week works in MUT 22. But that game against the Eagles, I remember it terribly. 3 touchdowns, 110 receiving yards, rookie player, Chase Claypool. So that's one option. 2018, I'm giving the Steelers way too much love right here. 2018, TJ Watt, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And then back in 2017, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the 2017-2018 season, Carson Wentz against the Cardinals, 304 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. So those are my 3 guesses for the LTD: Claypool, TJ Watt, and Carson Wentz. Really Pennsylvania bias there on my predictions. Now, the Team of the Week, Player of the Week, again, is going to be a 92 overall set card. I think at the end of the day, it's going to end up being Justin Herbert. I feel like I want to be wrong there because I really need Darius Slay to get that card, but I think what is likely going to happen is either Herbert's going to be Player of the Week, and then the 88 overall cards are probably either going to be Slay, and on offense, Antonio Brown. That's going to be my guess. Or the other option is Slay gets Player of the Week, and then the 88 overall is Derwin James and Antonio Brown on offense. So we'll see. We do have the Week 4 champion cards. These are prior year's performances for players who are not currently active in the NFL. So these are essentially our Team of the Week legends, and we went back and looked through the records in the history books for week 5 performances, and here's what we got. In 2014, Arian Foster, 157 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's one that I think is very likely to happen. They maybe don't give Herbert a card because he's slated for a promo in a later, upgrade in a later promo. In 2013, Tony Romo, 506 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that feels like a Team of the Week throwback legend performance, card worthy for sure. In 2012, Reggie Wayne, 13 catches, 212 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. And then we went all the way back to 2005. I look at cards and players, right, who EA has had the rights to in the past, and Dre Bly last year, like one of the best cards in the game early on. And it makes me wonder, do they have the rights to Dre Bly again? Well, in 2005, he had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble, so that could be a card that we see. We don't really need any more cornerbacks right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get one. And then in 2004, John Abraham, 3 sacks in 1 game. Those are my guesses for the Week 5 champions. Remember, those are throwback players, flashback players, legends that are getting cards for good performances in Week 5 in prior years, and they're not active players. So those are my guesses. All I want is Darius Slay. Just give me the 92 Slay. Please, EA, I'm begging you, make it happen. You guys let me know, who did I miss? Who did I forget? Who is your locks for Team of the Weeks tomorrow when the content drops? We'll have videos for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.